Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. We're the Movie Couple. I'm Wendy.
I'm Dustin.
And this is our review for The Blue Angels. Filmed for IMAX, the Blue Angels documentary puts you in the cockpit for a first-hand view of the Blue Angels' precision flying. It also takes the audiences behind the scene for a revealing, in-depth look at what it takes to become a Blue Angel. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when I used to go to a couple of air and sea shows when I still lived in Florida, that was where the very first time I saw in person the flying demonstration of the Blue Angels, and I just never knew such a thing existed before, the precision flying, and I was super impressed. Fast forward to 2024, and now we've got a documentary. It's going to be on Prime Video. It is also going to be in the theaters for about a week because it's filmed for IMAX. And this really gave us both a way more in-depth look at the Blue Angels than I ever thought it was going to be, and I really, really enjoyed this documentary.
Yeah, overall it was really interesting to learn the history of the Blue Angel, what it takes to be a Blue Angel, and also to see what exactly they do. Because, you know, when you watch them, you're watching them from a pretty far distance away. It's not like you get up close and personal to them doing these incredible stunts for seeing all these maneuvers. But when you're in the cockpit and you have an incredibly high definition camera, being able to see that the wings are literally one plane, they're like 12 inches apart.
Yeah.
And being able to see that, you feel it. You feel that, you know, that anxiety of when you get lifted up in like a roller coaster or something, that and it's just the fact that this is the first time that I've gotten to feel this without actually having like the Blue Angels there. I've been to a couple air shows through my life, but it was many, many years ago since I saw them. But this is just, I found out more about them than I'd ever known before.
Yeah, exactly. So aside from the precision flying and their formation, which is what they're known for, especially the Delta, I like how they went in depth for. Sometimes I think they do explain it at shows more in depth if you can hear like what they're saying over the crowd.
Oh, and over the crowd and
over the jets. Yeah, yeah. So I've always known they've flown close. I didn't know it was 18 inches for their what they're called. I think the blue and gold or the blue and yellow formation, like the Delta, and then they have the diamond one. The Delta is with all six. The diamond is the close one. And then they have something called the Yankee, which brings them a lot closer, and it's like 12 inches. And what was interesting is that this documentary takes you from the very beginning of their show season, where they have a couple of second yearders or final yearders that have been doing this for a while, and a couple of brand new pilots that have just, I guess, qualified for, like, tested and it was qualified to enter the show, and sort of being shown the ropes to their very first show, to that, like, insane schedule of traveling to the end of the show of season, and where some of them, you know, finish out their contract for being a Blue Angel, and then they move on to whether they go back to their homes or they are assigned somewhere else, really depends. And then selecting sort of the next selection of pilots for the new season of the Blue Angels air show.
Yeah, and to kind of see it in this aspect, to be able to see it, it really brings it more of a personal touch to it. Really gets you more connected to these pilots, what they have to go through. And before, well, for me, it was always just seeing them either on TV or seeing them from really far away. And it was really nice to really feel like you were in the cockpit with them and to learn exactly, you know, what they have to go through. So it was very interesting, even though I do have to admit there were some parts where I feel like they could have snipped a little bit here and there to make it a little bit more concise. But overall, the experience of being able to see this on a huge screen was just eye-opening.
Yeah, it really is great. It's, you know, we've seen in Top Gun when they filmed that movie where they put the camera in the cockpit, and that movie allowed us to see, you know, what it would feel like to be the pilot. And dogfighting is a whole different thing than precision flying, what the Blue Angels do. So it's similar, but also very different. You still forget when you're in the cockpit, when they get so close, because they've practiced and they've drilled this over and over, that it's muscle memory at this point, by the time, especially by the time they get to the last show, that they are depending a lot of it on, I feel like anyways, on muscle memory. But at the same time, it's now they're trained to move as a unit. It doesn't look like they're flying at 400 miles per hour. It just looks like, and I think they said it in the film, is that it feels like the jets are frozen and it's the world that's spinning around them. It really does look like that because they're so calm. Obviously, you have to be calm in any sort of like naval or aircraft situation. I think you can't be freaking out because I think that just makes things worse. I do like that they not just focused on the training of the Blue Angels and how to form the formation and flying, but they touched on, you kind of mentioned it, the personal lives, like their families, the grueling schedule, which is insane. It's just like nonstop. They compared it to sort of being
18-hour days.
Yeah, sort of comparing it to like a rock band traveling around / a sports team traveling around, because you think about it, they have to travel with the whole fleet, right? So that's 6 jets, the Blue Angels, plus Fat Albert, plus maybe a couple more.
Just so you know, for those who may not know, Fat Albert is the big
carrier,
that they use for the shows.
Yeah. So it's really cool to sort of see that, because if you go in person, you see the Air and Sea show, everything is, precise, it's choreographed, it looks really great, and everybody has this energy around them. But they do these pilots do so much. I know I feel like I'd just be exhausted the whole time. And after, how many shows did you say they did?
Oh, I think they did.
Or how many weeks?
It was like for an entire. It was
like a whole season.
Yeah.
It was months.
I think they did 25. No, more than 25. And maybe they did like 50.
It was a lot, and the schedule was grueling, and it just made, what the film does a really good job of is make, even for those who are fans of the Blue Angel, make you appreciate what, not just the pilots, but everybody who's involved, how much work they put in to put in a really good show, and also to keep everybody safe.
Yes, and they did touch on that too, about how dangerous it really is, and that one time that they actually did lose one of their own to a crash.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed the documentary. I've always wanted to know just a little bit more about the Blue Angels, and this is like the way they were able to film it for IMAX and seeing it in IMAX was just a really cool experience, because yes, this film is going to be available and streaming on Prime Video, but I think unless you've got like a 6 sound setup at home, you won't really feel that, like that boom as the jet kind of like, sneaks up on you, and your chair won't shake. So I really am glad that we got to see it in theaters. If you're looking to learn more about the Blue Angels, this is the documentary to check out, and perhaps in theaters if you have an IMAX near you. I think we're going to go ahead and give you guys our rating for the Blue Angels documentary. Movie Couple rating is listed for you in the video description below. I'm going to say, for fans of the Blue Angels, for fans who have IMAX near them and love an IMAX movie, this is shot for IMAX. So not only you're going to feel like the rumbling, the sound, and feel like you're literally like in the cockpit with the pilots, you're also going to get a really personal side of seeing them with their families, the grueling schedule, and etc. I'm going to go ahead and give this a check it out.
I'm going to give it one of my infamous dual ratings. If you are a fan of the Blue Angels, then yes, this is definitely something that you want to see in an IMAX, on a big screen, because that's the whole point of this, is to really feel like you are in the cockpit flying with them. And it is beautiful to see it on an IMAX screen. So if you are a fan, definitely check it out. If you're interested, if you're just like, maybe I'll learn a little bit more, you can probably wait for it to come out on streaming.
And there you have it. That is our thoughts on the Blue Angels. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.